So have you ever heard like about like some like film sets being haunted or anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like there's definitely some movies that like it's like you already know based on like the movie that it's like kind of like
Well, yeah,
haunted.
like for example, like if it's scary movies, maybe they might
Yeah.
have like haunted or like backstories to certain objects
Yeah.
within the movie, you know?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you some like haunted like film sets. Okay, the first one would be like Insidious, right?
Bro, I'm not surprised. like I'm not
Like
surprised.
who doesn't know Insidious? And like if you've seen Insidious, like it's a horror movie, right? So Insidious is based on the investigations of like Ed and Lorraine Warren. You know who they are, right?
Yeah, I think they find like demon objects or something like that.
Yeah, they basically like help people that like are like are facing like demonic
entities.
Spirit, demonic entities. And then like when they were filming this movie, it was reported that many people like felt uneasy at the set, and they also felt like they always felt negative energy when they were filming. And then they also heard like strange buzzing noise from like rooms that like nobody was in. So nobody was in there, nothing was in there.
Like strange sounds from rooms like where they're not recording at the time.
Yeah. And it's just like it's all weird, right? Okay, the next one. Do you know like the movie I don't know how to say it, but like the Amityville horror? The Amityville horror?
I think I have.
Like the movie where like the husband kills all the family members and everything?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. So basically there's the original movie and then there's the reboot, right? In the original movie, well, of course it's based on a true story of a family that like moved to a haunted house in like New York, right? And in the original movie, the main male actor, which is like the father in like the family, was played by James Brolin. And then what is weird is that like when he was considering the role, like he was in his room and he was like thinking about it, like should I like take this role or not? And then when he was thinking, like all of a sudden like something in his closet.
Oh hell no!
Listen to me. Something in his closet like fell on its own.
Hell
and
no.
He like tried to find like something that would like probably like make it make sense, but like nothing. So it just fell on its own.
Well, think about it, right? Like if you're making movies like that, you think you're not gonna attract negative energy.
Especially like if you're making movies about like true stories. You don't think like you're attracting.
And also like you don't like all that negative energy, because it's all negative energy.
Yeah.
Whether, like obviously if they're killing people or murdering people or like just demonic movies like that.
Yeah.
You don't think like it's gonna attract negative energy, like demonic spirits or actual demonic.
And you know what's weird? Like this happened to the original like the guy in the original movie, but for the reboot, Ryan Reynolds, right?
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds.
So he said that when he was filming the reboot movie, that like he would wake up every night at 3 a.m. for no reason. So it's just like it's pretty weird. Wow, like in two of the movies that were filmed like based on the story, that like something happened to like the male actors, which is like pretty weird. But there's another one, right? You know The Exorcist, right?
Yeah.
A kind of iconic movie which came out in like 1973, I think.
Yeah.
So of course this movie was about like a young girl. I think her name was Regan or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically she battles like the demonic possession, right? So basically, and then like in the movie, the demonic possession and like mostly the horror scenes are like in her room, right? Okay. So then all of a sudden, a mysterious fire breaks out.
Oh hell no!
It burns everything except her room.
That's a sign.
So like, make it make sense.
That's
like, how would the room not be burnt?
Maybe whoever the demonic did not like all the energy in the other sets, the rooms, but obviously where the demonic part in the movie part was in that single room. It's like, oh, like, this is demonic, so keep doing it. It symbolizes like, hey, I don't like any of this energy except the energy that is filmed in this specific room, because obviously it's like the whole demonic scene.
Yeah, it's a demonic possession. And literally that room was left untouched.
Yeah,
so
that was definitely some spirit or some demonic stuff for sure.
And like, bro, these last two, I understand why like would negative stuff would happen, because like, the Conjuring series, right?
Yeah, of course.
And they're all based on like true stories.
Before you even go any further, in my opinion, I think The Conjuring is like my top 3 of most scariest movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
The Conjuring The Conjuring was different. I was like, I don't know how to explain
not only like top like best scary, but like they're like pretty good movies. They're like one of the best. I'm not gonna lie,
when I watched The Conjuring that same night, I
was like, get out.
Damn, no. The walk of shame to the bathroom, I was like, God damn.
With the flashlight and everything.
I was using my flashlight like, all right, let's go, bro. Just go to the bathroom.
No, but like the whole Conjuring series is like, it's really interesting. Okay, so let me tell you about like, because Annabelle is also part of the Conjuring series, right? Yeah. So in Annabelle, the original movie, and then Annabelle Comes Home, which is like the sequel of like Annabelle. Of course, these movies were based on like the haunted doll Annabelle, right? Okay, so they were saying that like throughout like filming these movies, the light fixtures would like just suddenly they would suddenly fall out of nowhere.
Oh, hell no.
Like just keep on falling, no reason why, like it would just fall. And also people that were like randomly, so you know like in the sequel, right? It's based on a house, like it's inside of the house.
The house, yeah.
So in the house, people would randomly have nosebleeds. Like it would start nosebleeding, and I know that I forgot what her name was, but one of the actors, she would have a lot of nosebleeds in the house, and then when she left the house,
nothing would happen.
It would literally, the nosebleed will go away unless as if nothing happened.
It was like, I can't even imagine like, it's one thing a film like that, right?
Yeah.
But when you're like the people who are filming it, I can't imagine the energy around all those people. Like when you're actually filming these scenes, like I can imagine like the whole negative energy. Mm-hmm. You can feel like the heaviness, like you can also feel like demonic emotions. You know what I mean? Like the crying, the emotional. Like you feel that because it's like heavy energy. And obviously, if you're doing all that in the movie, like I said, it attracts more negative from the demonic and all that, or demonic spirits. It makes like the whole little thing just even heavier and really bad. I can imagine like you're already on set, you're going through that. Imagine when you go home at night. Hell no.
I'll be so scared.
And not only that, like going and like I said, going to the bathroom or just going to the basement, bro. Hell no. I'm good. Yeah, you want to film a scary movie? Nah, I'm good, bro.
And you know what's also weird or like really scary? Cause you know, like in the Annabelle movies, they don't have the original Annabelle doll, cause like that's way too.
Well, obviously,
it's too dangerous, right? So they have a replica of it, but they say that like they caught the doll moving on its own.
Well, like think about it, right? That symbolizes a really, the real one, right? It symbolizes like a real demonic. And from what I heard, the actual one has like, if you touch it physically without gloves or anything, like something bad happens to your family or somebody tragedy dies. But like obviously, if you're like, that's like, you know, I'm not saying the name,
especially because like you're replicating it. Exactly. So like
maybe the demonic in the original one is like, hey yo, that's not the real one, but I'll mess with you. You know what I mean?
So they caught the doll moving on like it's on. Dude, like if I just see that, I'm not
gonna lie. If I see that, hey yo, director, I'm sorry, bro, but just cut me out of the movie. No.
But like basically,
and that would be an actual scary movie.
But basically, after all this that happened with the Annabelle, they decided to bless the house in the end.
I mean, I would
because they were just like all this
not even energy. That. After leaving, what I would do if I was somebody like obviously they're in it for the money, right?
Yeah,
good money. But if I was an actor in there, I would say it's a big movie. It's gonna make a lot of money. But like I will just bless myself every single time.
Go to church every day.
Go to church or do anything. As soon as I step out of that house, yo, because you know it can follow you.
Yeah, home. It can. Yeah, definitely.
And then not only that, it can like, because you know how like certain people are like maybe like they're weak emotionally or mindset wise, it goes to them because they're like, oh yeah, I know he's like weak. You know what I mean? In their eyes, demonic eyes. You know what I mean? Oh, they're weak, so I can like maybe like mess with them more or get more in their head. You know. Because they look, the demonic stuff and the spirits like that, they look for stuff like, for people like that.
Yeah, they look for, like, mostly target, like, weak people. Yeah. Which is pretty crazy. Okay, but in Conjuring, like, the Conjuring movies, again, the cast and the crew will report that they would, like, wake up at 3 a.m. for no reason.
Hell no.
And, like, we know, like, 3 a.m. is, like, you know, not a good hour to,
not a good hour. Especially go to the bathroom, not a good hour.
No, it's never not a good hour. So, basically, they'll wake up at 3 a.m., right? And then, you know, the actor that plays Lorraine Warren, right? Her name is Vera Farmiga. I think that's what you're saying her name. But one day, throughout filming, she found, like, claw marks on her, like, personal computer, right? But she was like, how did this like get here? Like, it doesn't make any sense, right? So then like the day after she finished like she wrapped up filming and everything, she found the exact same claw marks on her thigh.
So that's so I don't know if people know, but like that's really like the three
claw,
yeah, is like it's really demonic. So that's how you know there's like a really bad spirit like trying to represent a demon or an actual demon. But when you see stuff like that in movies, that's one thing. But when you're like actually like, yo, I have 3 scratches on my back, that's a whole different ball game. Because now you're like, now the demon like knows who you are, he knows your sins. And all that, you know?
Definitely. I don't know, just all this is like...
Be honest, would you do a scary movie like that? Not just any scary movie, but a scary movie like that. Like, hey...
Like, based on a true story?
Like, hey, would you... Like, let's do Conjuring 3. Or let's do, like... I'm not gonna say the name, but the A doll. I'm not gonna say it, bro. I'm not trying to be bad juju. I'm not. Would you?
Low key.
Because I know I am. Like, I always overthink stuff. Because the Overthinkers podcast, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, I know like if there's a scene that we record that day, I know I'm probably gonna dream about it, or I know I'm gonna see myself in that scene, like in real life. You know what I mean? Even though I know it's a movie.
Low key, I feel like
not only that, like I don't want to bring nothing.
No, yeah, definitely. Home. That's why I feel like it would be like interesting to like actually like be in those like type of movies, but at the same time like I don't want nothing like I don't want to claim no negative energy like.
Yeah, no negative energy for sure.
I don't know. Would you do it?
It depends on the movie, bro. Like maybe it's like a scary movie, but not like that. That's like a whole I probably wouldn't do it. Not like I'll do a scary movie, but not like
The Conjuring.
Not like Conjuring, Annabelle, or stuff like that. Nah, I probably won't. Like, because I know I hate like paranormal stuff. I just can't. I can't.
But yeah, that's like, and I know there's like way more movies that like also have like cursed film sets, but like these are just a couple. So, yeah.